Hello and welcome to my major project video. This is Wolfsbane, which is my 2D platform Metroidvania game that I've been developing throughout the course. The main aim of this game is that you just have to get to the end of the level. The backstory is that you, the player, are a werewolf that has been trying to hunt prey in the world, and finally hunters have caught up to you and now will be hunting you with traps they've placed throughout the level and also trying to attack you themselves. The way that this game begins is that it gives you the main menu where the player will be able to press start, options and quit. Start being how to start the game, options being other system options where you can change the game to fit their preferences, and also quit, which just closes the game. In the options menu you get the graphics setting, go low, medium and high, resolutions to pick whatever you want. Just gives that range of if you haven't got if you've got a specific way you want to play the game, then you can do it by switching the resolution setting. You also get a windowed mode if you want to play on another monitor or just do something else in the background. And a volume slider to turn the music off completely or have it fully on. Now that's over, it's time to begin the game. So it starts off with a transition where if it hadn't been there and it just faded to black and reappeared here, or just hard cut came into the game, I feel like it would be quite immersion breaking for the player, and that's something I don't want to do. So I decided to make a nice transition between each scene of the game. And when they first play the game, they'll see behind them a totem, which is the checkpoint system, which when the player dies they'll respawn and be placed back here. If they find other totems in the level, they will activate, and then the player will respawn at that latest totem instead of the first one. This is a health item, which is also known as prey because of the context you are a werewolf, so you have to eat animals. And this is basically just a way of gaining health if you are damaged. There's a jump mechanic, which makes the player jump decently high in the air. Also, we have our first enemy, which will attack you for 2 damage, and the red flashing is a way of telling the player that they are invincible for at least 3 seconds. I put this into the game so that they could roam around the level without having to worry about getting overcumbered by enemies. This is the first trap in the game, and as you see I've died, which makes a short animation, then just respawns me back at the turn where I started. So trying to go around this saw. And also I'd made the level a bit more unique by putting it on like horizontal edges instead of straight lines and just flat surfaces. I decided to make it a bit more hilly. Going to our next challenge, which is the spikes, which will damage the player if they hit by them. I got our next checkpoint. Now we can use the wall climbing to go up the wall and then fall onto the other, so you can go to the next platform. It just gives that more interest in exploring the area instead of just going, oh, if I have found the area, then maybe there aren't any other areas to explore because I just start with the moving option too. Going here, we have a secret spike that will kill the player if getting too close. Also, you got a pause menu that the player can choose to restart the game, go to the main menu, or quit the game altogether. Get a nice transition again, and then we're back in. Also, I went for a very purple colour scheme for the way the game looked. This is because purple usually is linked to like royalty or supernatural elements, and that's what I really wanted to try and convey when trying to build the game. We're going on here, we'll find a new trap, which is a fire trap, and you'll go off when the player is in close proximity. And if the player is caught in that trap, they'll take 1 damage. And no platforming challenge. And we have our another trap, which is a trap that if the player is in the area of it, it will follow them and try and hit them, as you can see. And player has to sort of mess around with it to try and make sure that it doesn't get them when they're trying to platform to different areas. See, there is some problems with the speed. But in the game, there is also a shoot mechanic, which can be used to dispatch enemies if they get in the way of the player progressing through the level. Also, throughout the level you'll be hearing a soundtrack behind, and I think it's really interesting because it gives that sort of urgency to progress instead of it all being silent and being unable to move on. Once getting to the top of the level, there will be a final platform jumping puzzle, and then the player will get to the end. And here, this is the final area. Once getting to the end, you finish the level. The final thing I'd like to talk about is the audio, which throughout the game you've been hearing these small snippets of audio, which can be very well defined into what they are, like the small ring of the checkpoint noise, or the impact noise of a projectile hitting another object or enemy. I feel like this just helps sell the game a lot more, because without audio it will feel very bland and not interesting to listen to. So thank you for listening, and this was my major project.